And I hope you will attend if you can, or if you can't attend because you're unable to, just let people know about them if there's protests nearby. Let me just show you Donald Trump's polling data recently. It's really, really bad. It kind of looks like his signature going on a downward angle at this point. If you ask Americans, is the economy getting worse? Most Americans by significant margins say it's worse or much worse now than under former President Biden. If you look at the Trump regime, their polling when it comes to handling of the economy, it is far worse than the first Trump administration. The economy, even though I thought it should never be viewed as a strong suit for Republicans and Trump, that's really how it always was. But here, as G. Elliott Morris, the great pollster, writes, Trump's job approval rating on the economy is now at an all-time low, even worse than during COVID-19. Opinion on his handling of inflation is at -18 on average. He has now lost the GOP's single best political asset of the last decade. And it should never have been, because the Democrats, of the 52 million jobs that have been created over the past 3 decades, they've been created by Democrats. 50 million of those created by Democrats. And Trump was the only president other than Herbert Hoover — I called Trump Pervert Hoover because he's a sexual abuser — who lost jobs in his term. You take a look at some of these other issues. Trump is underwater on the economy, -9.3%, on trade, -15.2%, on inflation and cost of living, -17.5%. If you look at the data here, while it does show that he's above water on the issue of immigration by +4.7, when you actually dig into the issue and you talk about deporting people who have been here for 10 years with no criminal record, or kidnapping people and sending them to El Salvador concentration camps, Trump is very unpopular when you talk about comprehensive immigration, the type that frankly Democrats support and former President Biden supports. Americans in a vacuum are okay with deportations. They're okay with borders. So am I. The issue is kidnapping people without due process, throwing them to concentration camps, recklessly rounding up migrants, destroying the economy of people here working and contributing and providing no process at all, and going after people without criminal history. I don't like that, and neither do the American people when you really break down the issues. If you just take a weighted average also of these polls involving Donald Trump, even if you add all of these right-wing like Rasmussen, where Trump has 51% disapproval from Rasmussen, which is like as pro-Trump as you can get right now, you still have 51.6% of Americans disapproving of him. Then when you go into some of the crosstabs, in month 3 of his second term, under 100 days, Trump's average approval rating is under 40% among the following groups: Black people, people ages 18 to 29. Black people only support 23% support. Ages 18 to 29, Trump only has 34%. Independents, 37%. Moderates, 37%. Women, 39%. Latinos, 39%. And when you go to ages 30 to 44, 41%, white college grad, 41%, urban, 41%, and houses, 50K, household incomes, 42%, college grads, 42% approval. All underwater there. Here's the Rasmussen poll showing that Donald Trump, 51% disapprove. And as Adam Carlson says, I think the argument that D should talk about immigration, that Democrats shouldn't talk about immigration because Trump and Republicans currently poll better on it off its base. I get the logic, but when you go through asking people, do you agree you should deport undocumented immigrants who have lived in the U.S. for more than 10 years? That has -37%. Approval. Deport undocumented immigrants who are parents of U.S. citizens by birth. -36%. Deport undocumented immigrants who have not broken laws in the U.S. except for immigration laws. -18%. Deport immigrants who are in the U.S. living illegally back even if they've lived here for a number of years, have jobs and no criminal record. -14%. So you go through all of these issues, and Trump's policies of like revoking temporary protected status is not popular. All right, let's talk more about the protests. But I wanted to show you that the protests are working. It's forcing people not just to take to the streets, but now it has this It's a solve for the first mover problem where lots of people go, wait a minute, is this normal? Is this normal? No, it's not normal. Oh, got it. And then you start paying attention to what's going on. Here's how Newsweek reports it. List of cities hosting nationwide anti-Trump protests on Saturday, April 19th. A wave of protests is set to sweep across all 50 states on Saturday, April 19th, organized by the grassroots group 5051 in opposition to Trump's policies and executive orders. Organizers cite concerns over civil liberties, judicial independence, and what they describe as authoritarian overreach. The group 5051 also organized protests like the Not My President's Day event in February. The global hands-off demonstration on April 15th has become a fixture of the national resistance. April 19th is expected to span the entire country, and these protests continue to grow. And one of the things 5051's focused on is really trying to get that 3.5% of the U.S. population to show up and get out there, and hopefully more than that. But they understand that it's growing it protest by protest by protest. And I've always said, I expect there to be a democracy summer. So you take a look at where these protests are, and you should all check out the 5051 website as well to see if there's a protest near you. You spell it out, 50, F-I-F-T-Y, F-I-F-T-Y. So it's 5050.1. 5050.1. And then you go and check it out. They're everywhere, these protests. From Montgomery, Alabama, to Maui, Hawaii, to Lexington, Kentucky, to Quincy, Illinois, to Kansas City, Missouri, to Las Vegas, Nevada, to Rutherford County, North Carolina. There's the locations and all these other cities and towns. So search the one nearest you if you wanted to go out there today. And let me just, here's a map so you can see on the map what it looks like. For this is being called the People Descent event. And you can see on the map right there where all of the protests are going to be. Virtually everywhere you can see right there. And let me just share this with you as well. This was from April 5th. This is what it looked like in Chicago. Let's play this clip.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Let's talk about numbers. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session, which adds up fast. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save on average up to 50% per session. Now with BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big on cost and time. Therapy should feel accessible, not like a luxury. With online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense and can help you with anything from anxiety to everyday stress. Your mental health is worth it, and now it's within reach. Therapy is helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. It's convenient too. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, switch therapists at any time. Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/Midas today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Midas.
Yeah, powerful stuff right there. I really want to give a shout out to the 5051 organizers. I want to give a shout out to the Indivisible organizers. I want to give a shout out to all of the organizers, the unions, everybody who shows up. You know, y'all are the real heroes in this. And it is an honor that we at the MeidasTouch Network can just play a small role or any role at all in helping to amplify these peaceful protests. I know corporate news wants to suppress this. I know that they don't want to air any of it. That's why the MeidasTouch Network has become the main destination for these protests. And it is an honor to be able to share the data with you, share the protests with you, let you know how you can attend, and for us to uplift the real heroes right now, which are those organizers and those showing up to these events. It's an honor for us to play a part in that. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, and let's get to 5 million subscribers.
New Midas merch drop! Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts,